Professional Black Girl Season 2 has been fully funded by the generous support of the global professional black girl community. Hashtag we all we got.
My commitment to and insistence upon speaking in my mother tongue is the number one thing that makes me a professional black girl. I don't feel a need to, code switch in and out of places like the Shantrelle, that Shantrelle right here, in this barbershop is the same Shantrelle that's talking to my cousin Tyrone and them. By my auntie Vale house in Elgin is the same Shantrelle that's going to the UN and speaking about, state-sanctioned violence against black people is the same Shantrelle that is, giving some type of curatorial conversation. I think that's the number one thing that makes me, a professional black girl is my commitment to being my authentic self at all times. I recognized that I had a voice, which is when I left New Orleans to go to school at the Howard University, is when I recognized that my actual voice, my accent, my dialect made me extremely different from those around me. It situated me in a specific way in a very authentic black experience from New Orleans, Louisiana. Growing up in New Orleans, I thought everybody talked like us. I thought everybody ate the food that we ate. We'll watch the Cosby Show, and I'm like, we sound like them. It's like, but no, we don't. And so it was when I first came in contact with the diaspora at Howard that I'm like, oh shit, like New Orleans is this very special, specific, nuanced place within this greater world, right, of blackness. That's very beautiful, that's rooted in a lot of West African and Central African traditions. It's also that Caribbean, Haitian influence, and it's very gritty and it's very urban. And so for me, when I think that people have paid more respect to other spaces in the diaspora, I'm like, we got that right here in New Orleans, right? And so for me, it was always very important that my worldview and my lens is through a New Orleans lens. So I think that was also even amplified even more after Katrina, because I realized that our voices, literally, were in danger of being lost. Literally, our history, our culture was in danger of being wiped out after the storm. And so I was committed to, telling our story wherever we went, even more so, and now more than ever.
Now is probably as good a time as any to tell you that Shantrelle is not just another dope New Orleans sister who we decided to feature on Professional Black Girl. This one here, yeah, she's my ace, my best friend. We're talking TT to my babies, maid of honor at her wedding. More on that in a minute, but yeah, she's my full-on sister. All right, let's get back to it.
I'm a curator by trade, and I didn't always know I wanted to be a curator. I thought I wouldn't be a doctor. Didn't want to work under fluorescent lights, so I decided senior year, much to the chagrin of my parents, that I wasn't going to be a doctor. I wanted to actually do radio and TV. I was on WPGC 95.5, always blazing at least 18 jams in a row. And prior to that, I actually wanted to rap when I was growing up. Okay, this is your girl Shantrelle, better known as Gangsta Brown. Shout out to my great grandma that used to live right around the corner on Parker Street. Okay, I used to rap with my girl Lil E. We had a group named SWG, Sisters with Game. And so, I was just trying to rap to bring the consciousness to the people, to teach the truth to the young black youth. So hold on, let me see if I can remember one of my rhymes. Hold on, here you go. All right, thinking with a madman's mind as I start to rhyme. I'm sitting back grieving over the crimes that happen every second minute out of the day. Every time I turn around, another brother is slain. On the front of every paper, a black person's dead. What can I do besides shake my head? It really upsets me when I witness and see future doctors and lawyers buried 6 feet deep. Future doctors and lawyers buried 6 feet deep. This gangsta beat shouting out with a hip-hop swing. How could this be? How could this be? How could this be? How could this happen to me? It was through Africana studies. I started working and volunteering at the African American Museum in Philadelphia when I was in grad school at Temple TU. It was there that I passion for teaching our history in a way that wasn't in a traditional classroom. And that's when Katrina hit. And so I was like, I can't preserve our history and culture when our history and culture is, in danger of being lost. And so I came back home, met Dr. Dwight McKenna. He owns the McKenna Museum uptown. So we met. He made me the director and curator of the museum, and I've been curating ever since. My background isn't in Western art history. My background is in the streets, right? Art history of the streets, like seeing Mardi Gras Indians growing up, seeing the second line, and just like the colors of shotgun houses, the aesthetics of Black women's hair, right? So my understanding of our art comes through a very African-centered lens, and that comes from my education at Temple, where we look at art as a function, which it always was a function in a traditional African context. It was a mask. It wasn't for hanging on a wall in a museum, but it was actually for a ceremonial purpose, whether somebody was being born, somebody was getting married, people were going off to war. And so I'm just really passionate about expressing our stories and translating our stories through aesthetics, and just really exploring all the nuances that make us so beautiful and gorgeous and brilliant as a people. 2004 was the first time I really left out of the country. Got my passport. First I went to London and Madrid, and then I went to Brazil. And it was such an exhilarating experience. I was a dark-skinned Black girl from New Orleans, and I'm in another country, surrounded by people who are speaking in different languages, who look nothing like me. Seeing other people, though, who did look like me, who had a completely different, background and family history and cultural history. And it was one of the most exhilarating experiences that I had in my life. It was the biggest high. And it was a level of freedom that I've never experienced in my life. And I was it was infectious. I was addicted to it. I was I need to have this all of the time. And so I've been doing that ever since, traveling around the diaspora, going back and forth, and really exploring our culture. It's important for me to not only go to a place, but also to give back, support the economy there. So I co-founded a company called Shop Black with my husband, Tony.
Shop Black's goal is building generational wealth in our community by networking and supporting Black-owned businesses across the diaspora. Now Shantrelle is taking me to one of Shop Black's favorite Black shops in New Orleans, Material Life.
This store is owned by a sister named is Carla Williams. She collects all of these amazing vintage art, just all kinds of objects from around the Black world. So, it's my spot. Let's go into Material Life. Girl, look at what you did. First of all, when you come into Material Life, you're going to spend all of your money.
All of your money. Everything you love about New Orleans is because of Black people. Can I get an amen? Y'all gonna see me wearing this shirt? Because everything. One of Shantrelle's priorities at Shop Black, as well as in life, is making sure she can keep her hair looking fly, no matter what corner of the globe she finds herself in.
When traveling, you need to get your hair cut, right? You need to get your nails done. No matter where I go, I have barbers in London, Amsterdam, Suriname, Curacao, Nigeria, right, all over the U.S. You gotta keep it fresh. You out of town, you in Black spaces. You gotta keep the fresh fade, you know what I'm saying? You gotta keep the fresh, whether it got a big old fro, got my fade. That's very important to me, and that allows me to really get deeply rooted in the community. When I was growing up, first of all, my mama, shout out to Pat, Patricia Calvin Scott, Elaine Calvin Scott, the original professional Black girl, right? My mama stayed getting her hair done. It's during a time when, Anita Baker's being on the radio, Luther Vandross, all these people, and Pat is going to get her hair done. Pat would never ever have her child out in those streets without her hair done. So Shantrelle was going to Miss Dion up in LJ's, getting my hair done every week, every other week. That part of self-care and that culture was just very important in my family. My grandma Gladys, Gladys got her hair done. She'll catch her cab up in LJ's, go get her hair done, come home, go to church, right? When I grew my perm out, which was been about like 20-something years, I've been natural. I've played with different hairstyles. You know, I've had flat tops, I've had huge bushes, I've had locks. And so, you know, lately I've been, you know, wearing my hair short. And so it's interesting transitioning from a beauty salon culture where you're around, you know, predominantly women to then being in barbershops where you around, you know, men. Sometimes they'll, depending on the barbershop, they'll, you know, switch the conversation because they're mindful of not only a woman, but the type of woman that I am. So it's like, oh, peace queen, peace sis, you know, all that, right? Like, why I gotta be a queen, call me king. I think across the board, I try to go to barbershops where I feel safe and where I feel comfortable. Like, I'm not going to a barbershop where they're like bitches, hoes, and stuff. Sometimes the music can be a little bit too much. Sometimes I'm like, yo, bro, can you change the music, right? And, you know, they'll always oblige me. But, I mean, you know, the culture is so different. I mean, but it's also the same. Like, women talk about men and a whole bunch of things. Men talking about the same thing, talk about, you know, music, they talk about sports. They talk about stuff that's going on in their family and their relationships. You know, it's the same type of culture. So when I got married, you know, I definitely was getting married in New Orleans. And I remember I was like, I had all these black vendors, but I was like, I need a wedding planner. And so everybody was like, oh, holla at Fresh, holla at Fresh. And Fresh, well, you know Fresh. So if you don't, you will know Fresh very soon. The blackest wedding ever. It was the blackest wedding ever. I knew for my wedding, I didn't want to have like one of those boring sit down, stuffy weddings where you like eating dinner, we're giving a toast, blah, 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 blah. I was like, we are going to party from the time we jumped that broom till the time the Ace Hotel kicked us out. And that's what we did. And so, you know, joint went viral. My husband is Nigerian, and so everyone expected this big, like, traditional Nigerian wedding. I'm like, why do we have to go all the way to Nigeria for culture and for heritage and traditions when we have that right in New Orleans? And I mean, and granted, those traditions are African, essentially, but second lining, you know, partying, all of that, that's New Orleans, that's us. So, you know, it was very important for me to be surrounded by my family, you know, who can't always travel. It was also very critical for me to bring people here, right? To like not try to recreate it somewhere else, but to actually like create this like celebratory moment right here in the place where I was born and raised. And so my ancestral spirits are here. They're buried in this ground, this earth, like dating back hundreds of years. Like this is where I needed to be to actually, you know, jump the broom, tie that knot, to have the blackest wedding ever. I am Shantrelle Patrice Joan Lewis. I am from New Orleans, Louisiana. I am a curator, I'm an author, I'm a filmmaker, I'm a writer, I'm a social entrepreneur. I am a priest of Sango, and I am a #1 original, the greatest, the most amazing, the most incredible professional black girl. You heard me? Oh, okay. Oh, all right now.
Who is Naima? Naima is an amazing entity. She is an embodiment of God and His love for me. She was the place where I started to really move into finding myself and embracing who I am and really embodying the boss and the powerful woman that I am.